This book is called Seed, Sprout, Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to be talking a lot about pumpkins. Have you picked your pumpkin? Might be a little early to pick out a pumpkin right now because once you carve them, they go bad very quickly. A pumpkin seed is tucked into sun-warmed earth. Spring rains softens its tough coat. Soon, jagged leaves rise from twisty vines, wandering in all directions. So remember, a pumpkin does not grow on a tree, it grows on a vine. A root reaches for nutrients, a sprout reaches for light. So the roots of the vine are underneath the soil, and they suck up the water from the soil. And the sprout, it will rise up towards the sunlight that helps it get its food. Bees visit golden blossoms, spreading pollen from flower to flower. So that is really important that the bees do that, just like with the apples. They need to go onto the flower and mix that pollen with another vine so that this flower will eventually kind of like shrivel up, fall off, and what you're left with is a pumpkin growing in its place. So you can see this part right here used to be the flower, and this part just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Here and there, tiny green knobs replace wilted flowers. The knobs change color and slowly swell, growing heavier by the day. Cooler nights arrive. Vines shrivel. So see, it's growing on a vine because look how heavy it gets. It has to be sitting on the ground once it gets really big. Left behind are pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins. So when you go to a pumpkin patch, you're gonna see all the pumpkins on the ground because that's how, see all these leaves? That's the vine. That's how they grow. They grow on the ground on a vine. Pumpkins are a type of squash. And a squash is not a vegetable, it's a fruit. They can be green, red, tan, yellow, white, or even blue. So I don't want you to think of a pumpkin as always being orange, because I have definitely seen pumpkins that are not orange. And I'll go this coming weekend and I'll get some pumpkins and bring them in the classroom to show you. The pumpkins we know best are bright orange. It's the ones that you're gonna see in the grocery store that they're selling. They're gonna be orange in color. There are tall pumpkins, short pumpkins, smooth or bumpy pumpkins. There's tall ones, short ones, smooth ones, bumpy ones, wee ones, only inches wide, or giants you can sit inside. These are actual pumpkins. They like made a hole. They're sitting in it. They're pretending like it's a boat. It's cool. Thump, thump, thump. A pumpkin sounds hollow, but inside is stringy, wet pulp and oodles of slippery white seeds. Seeds might be saved to grow next year's pumpkin or dried for a crunchy snack. Pumpkin pulp smells sharp and tangy, but can be made into delicious breads, desserts, and soups. Sugar pumpkins go into the spicy pies we bring to our Thanksgiving table. The end. Unless, is there something else pumpkins might be used for? Just so you know, the pulp, that stringy, gooey stuff, that is used to make most of the yummy things like pumpkin pie and pumpkin bread. Oh yes, jack-o'-lanterns. So we use our pumpkins, we carve them during Halloween. That's kind of why we're learning about them in October. We carve them and we set them out, and it's like, it's a jack-o'-lantern. It's kind of like a Halloween decoration. We'll give yours a funny face or a creepy one to send shivers up your back. Will it be the head of a straw-filled scarecrow? The scarecrow. Will your jack-o'-lantern decorate your kitchen table among striped gourds and sunset-colored leaves? Or will it set your porch aglow on a spooky Halloween night, lighting the way for a curious cat? Unused pumpkins are fed to farm animals or left in the field to nourish the precious soil. Like cows would really love to eat any like pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern that you don't want anymore. Might throw in the trash can. Instead, you could like bring it down to a farm and they might feed it to their cows or their animals. Awaiting spring under a wintry blanket. We don't really get a lot of snow here, but it says seed sprout pumpkin pie. What are you learning about pumpkins? Do they grow on a tree? They grow on a vine on the ground. And also, before they're a pumpkin, they're also a flower, just like apples are. Pretty cool.